Hello children, how are you all? Welcome to the digital classes. Children, I am here with a new topic. Children, have you seen the birds here? Yeah, sparrow and the crane. Where do you find? Generally, we find sparrow in our surrounding, whereas the crane is found near the water bodies. We find rarely nowadays. You ask the parents and the grandparents about these birds. They used to see them frequently. That is, they were present, abundant in those days. Look at here some more birds, children. Parrot and crow. These parrots we used to find with the people all around. But nowadays, these parrots and crows are also not seen frequently. Why? Their number is going on decreasing day by day. Children, look at this bird, children. What do you call it? This is a palapeta. When do we see this? Generally, we try to observe these birds during the festival of Dasara. Right? This is our Telangana's state bird. Commonly, we call it as blue jay, Indian ruler. Its biological name is Coracius bengalensis. So, this is found especially in the village background. Do we find such type of birds in our cities? No, we are not able to find. What is missing here? Because of the construction of the massive buildings and the concrete jungle, all these birds are decreasing day by day. So, here we will be studying about this in the present chapter. That is so here our topic is biodiversity and its conservation. Yeah, what do you see here? This is a picture of a globe. On globe you see different types of animals, birds, insects, even human beings are also found. You also can see different types of plants and trees. So these are all the different varieties which are present on the globe. What do you see here? You see a tree in a forest. What do you see? You see the large number of birds, insects, honeybees, spiders, snakes, squirrel and many more organisms are taking shelter under them. Children, if we cut down the tree, what happens? Where do these animals and the insects go? They will be not having a place for nestling, so they will be moving all around and they don't get any shelter and they will be dying. So, this forest we have to preserve. When the trees and the forests are preserved, depending upon these forests, large number of herbivores can live there. When the herbivorous number is more, automatically the carnivorous animals also can be seen. So this is how the plants and the forests are helping to maintain the biodiversity of a system. So children, we will try to define what is biodiversity. The variety and variability seen in plants and animals is called as biodiversity. So this is the definition of biodiversity. In other means, it is a biological diversity. That is the diversity in the living forms. One more example we can take here. Just imagine the cricket players, children. Can you name some of the cricket players? We have number of cricket players like Sourav Ganguly, Dhoni, Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, etc. They are all belong to the human species, but everyone is differing. Variability found in organisms are nothing but biodiversity. Though the organisms on the earth look similar, we have taken the examples of cricketers over here, right? They look human being. They have the same two hands, two legs, two eyes, a nose, etc. Everyone is different from one another. So, upon clear observations, the variations are seen among these people. Right, children? Yes. So, these variations in the life form leads to biodiversities of Earth. So, when we study about the Earth as an ecosystem, we find different types of biodiversity. So, we will try to learn more about here. Now, we talk about the Red Data book. What is Red Data book, children? Have you ever heard about this? Yeah, Red Data book is a book which contains each and every species detail. That means the generic name, the species, the first identified place. So, all the information is gathered and recorded in this book. That is why it is called as Red Data book. Some of the organizations like WWF, that is the World Wildlife Federation, and IUWC, that is an International Union for Wildlife Conservation. These two organizations togetherly published a book containing the details of endangered and the threatened species of flora and fauna. So, this book is called as Red Data book. Now, children, what is flora and fauna? Flora is nothing but all the plants with a single term, that is a flora. So, all the plants comes under flora. Then what is fauna? Animal species comes under the fauna. Here we talk about the extinct species. Children, have you ever heard about the dinosaurs, children? Yes, we have seen dinosaurs in the movies. Right, children? What are the scientists says that billion years ago the dinosaurs used to exist on the earth. But do you find them now, children? No, we don't find them. Why? Because they have been extinct. What happened, children? They have extinct from our surroundings. So, here extinct means the species that are vanished from the biosphere are called as extinct species. Extinct nothing but vanished completely. So, look at some of the examples of extinct species, children. Yeah, this is a dinosaur which is no more found in our biosphere, or we don't find on the earth nowadays, right? These animals used to exist million years ago. Now, you also can see another bird, that is the passenger pigeon. People says that this bird also used to exist, but we don't find these pigeons in present days because it has been extinct completely. Now, we talk about the endangered species. The term endangered itself shows they are in danger. That means the number of species, that is the organisms. Here species means we talk about the organism. So, the organism whose numbers have declined rapidly and the species might be wiped off from the earth in near future. So, these animals are going to become extinct in near future. So, what we have to do? We have to take steps and we need to protect the animals. Their names will be collected and will be entered in the Red Data book. So, children, I think you are clear with the endangered species. We mean to say that the species, the number of organisms are very, very less in the entire world. So, their number is going on decreasing. If preventive measures are not taken, these animals will be vanished from the surroundings. Now, Children, we take examples of endangered species here. You look: lion, red fox, spotted cheetah deer, loris, single-horned rhino, vulture, black spider monkey, wildcat. These are some of the animals which are listed as endangered species. We need to protect these animals, otherwise we don't find them even in the parks or the national bird sanctuaries. We don't find them. Here we have collected some of the plants also which are endangered. So we call them as endangered species here. So we look at the plants: cycas, Rolfia serpentina, Nepenthes, sandalwood tree. Children, these trees are also listed in the endangered species. If we do not protect, these plants also will be extinct in the near future. Children, next we studied about the endemic species. What is an endemic species? Endemic species means plants or animal species found or restricted to a particular area or a country or of any place on the globe, called as endemic species. Children, here we take kiwi as an example. Kiwi is endemic to New Zealand. What does it mean? This animal is restricted to New Zealand only. That is, this is not found in any other place in the world. We take another example here, children. Are you familiar with this? What are these? Yes, this is a kangaroo and its baby. Where do you find the kangaroo? Kangaroo is found only in the Australia. So with this, what we say? We can say that kangaroo is endemic to Australia. Children, do you know that India shows about 62% of world amphibians? What does it mean? That means to say, if the amphibians are 100%, of which 62% are from India. That means majority of the amphibians are considered from our country. That is, our country has a huge variations. And you can see 50% of the lizards. You see the lizards which are present all around the world, and 50% of the lizards are endemic to Western Ghats. That means to say, the west coast line of our country has a large varieties of lizards, which comes to 50% of the lizards. So with this we can say our country has wide variety of species. Children, we try to define the term species. Species are nothing but a group of organisms which can interbreed among themselves. We have understood few things, children, here, that some of the animals are listed in the endangered species which are in great threat, right? Yeah. And we also seen some of the endemic species also we understood. And we also learned that if we are not taking care about these animals, what happens? They are going to extinct like dinosaurs. So what we can do, children? We have to make some efforts and we have to try to conserve them. So we try to look at what are the efforts towards the conservation. So to prevent these animals, we have national parks, we have bird sanctuaries, and we also have biosphere reserves. So these are maintained by the government so that they take necessary steps to prevent these animals. So we have some other organization like WWF, that is a worldwide fund for nature, and Wildlife Conservation Society, the Nature Conservancy, and we also have certain other organizations which have taken the responsibility of conserving the biodiversity. Now, what are the national parks? What are the wildlife sanctuaries, children? These are the protected areas to preserve wildlife, that is to save flora and fauna. As I said, what is flora and fauna, children? Plants and animals. So these national parks and the bird sanctuaries have been established to save this flora and fauna and also to restore the natural ecological balance. That means to say to maintain the balance in nature, which you will be studying in details in the next chapter. Am I clear, children? What is the national park, wildlife sanctuaries? Yes, these we can say as protected areas for these endangered species. Children, here you see some of the national parks of our country. Now look at this park. What is this? This is a Jim Corbett National Park, India's first national park, which is established in the year 1936, and it was named as 𝗂𝗟 National Park in those days. Now we call it as Jim Corbett National Park, and it is located in Uttarakhand. So what we can understand? So the government is taking necessary steps and establishing the national parks to preserve these animals. We see some of the sanctuaries of Telangana, children. Here we have a list. Pakal Lake and a wildlife sanctuary are found in Warangal district. If you visit Warangal, children, just try to visit these places so that you can find out some of the plants and animals which are protected there. Next we have Nagaram Sanctuary, children. It is also located in Warangal district. Now we have another one, that is the Pocharam Dam and the Wildlife Sanctuary, which is located in Medak, which is specialized for protecting the deers in the natural conditions. Next we have Kinnarasani Wildlife Sanctuary, which is located in Khammam. So these are some of the sanctuaries where especially the birds have been protected and few animal species have been safeguarded in their natural habitat. Children, if you visit Hyderabad, you have to visit this place. What is this? This is a Neurozoological Park, which is located in Hyderabad. Here you see large number of birds, animals are safeguarded. This is an origin of biodiversity. That means some new species emerges out because of some natural reasons. So we will try to find them. The process often occurs as sudden invasion of organisms like plants, insects, microbes, etc. So suddenly some of the organisms emerges which we might have not seen in the past. So such type of conditions also existing. What do? They interact with each other and form new habitats and increases in number. So as the food and the shelter present all around them, depending upon them, their number going on increases. Here we take an example of Hyderabad pigeon, children. So it is called as invasive alien species. So what is the speciality of this Hyderabad pigeon means? 30 to 40 years ago, all over the Hyderabad, people used to see crow. So crows were observed in the surroundings. What happened gradually? This Hyderabad pigeon has, some of the pigeons have migrated to Hyderabad, and thereby what happened? The pigeon number is going on increasing. As the number of pigeons increased, the number of crows were decreasing. Now if you look at in Hyderabad, you don't find crows, and even if they found, very less in number. So what happened here? This species have been invaded. So they have taken the place of crows. So they are increasing their number. So we can say this is an origin of biodiversity. We also take another example. This is the water hyacinth. This is found in the water bodies. Generally we see some of the pond animals in the pond areas. But whenever this water hyacinth comes into that water body, what happens? The water body is completely getting filled with water hyacinth. As the number of water hyacinth plant increases, the other organisms or other insects which are present in the water going on decreases. So this also can be an example of invasion. Right, children? So now we talk here. Do you know about that 50,000 varieties of rice plants were grown in India? But now we use just a few dozens of them. What does it mean? It means the rice. We might have heard about the varieties of rice. That is a Sona Masuri, Jaya Masuri, BPT. So we hear different types of varieties of rice, children, right? So such varieties, how many varieties were known? More than 50,000 varieties of rice were known. But how many of us are using now? We are only using very few in number. That is, nearly 5,000 plant species were used as staple food by humans. That means out of 50,000 varieties of rice, presently people are consuming 5,000 varieties. What happened to the other varieties, children? They might have been vanished. Only 20 species. So how many species are we are using? Only 20 species of rice are feeding the majority of the world's populations. That means the best ones we are selecting and we are growing only those varieties of rice. So what happened to the remaining? Their number has been gradually decreased. Maybe some of them might have been extinct also. So what we need to do? We need to conserve. Now we learned that a new species have been evolved, right? Factors which are contributing for the emerging of new species and reducing the old species. Some of the causes like natural calamities like floods or earthquakes, forest fire. Most of the times human interventions are wiping out these species. As you see, the number of buildings are increasing, the concrete jungle, the place area is becoming like a concrete jungle. So where is the place for the animals and the birds to live? So their number is going on decreasing. And due to lack of food, these animals are dying. Now children, is it good if some of the animals are not present in our surroundings? Are they going to harm us? This we'll try to study here. We will try to find out the value of biodiversity. That means the variations. Why should we conserve a small insects like a bee or a butterfly? What will happen if these insects becomes extinct? What happens, children, if these animals are not found in our surroundings? Each and every life forms that exist on the earth is very, very important. And biodiversity maintains the ecological balance of different living organisms on the earth. Just look at here. What is this, children? This is the butterfly and this is the honeybee. What is that they are doing here? They are trying to take out the nectars from the flowers. Right, children? So these insects are helpful in making the honey. They are responsible for collecting the honey. If we don't safeguard these butterflies and the honeybees, we may not get honey in the future. Children, we try to take a tiger as a project. The government of India in the year 1972 has decided to take tiger and to save tiger. So in India, around 27 tiger reserves are found. So in the year 1973, around 2000 tigers were found. What about the present day situation, children? In the present days, we are able to find 3,800 tigers. So the number has been gradually increasing. So with this, what we can say, these biodiversities have direct and indirect economic benefits to humans as well as to our ecosystem. So the study of biodiversity helps in better understanding of the ecosystem and helps to classify the organisms. Am I clear, children? Now, we also studied about some of the migratory birds. What is this migratory bird, children? Yeah, migratory birds means the birds which are moving from one region to other for the sake of food, shelter, or even sometime for the sake of laying eggs. So such type of birds are called as migratory birds. In the Sundarban deltas of our country found a Siberian crane. Just look at here, children. You see these are the Siberian cranes which migrate from other parts of the world to this place especially to lay their eggs, and they spend some of the time here. Summer begins in our country, they move back to their own country. So with this we can say these are the migratory birds. So the birds migrate for this in search of food and in search of shelter. So children, what we can do from our side, we can try to conserve the biodiversity. Children, we are using paper, right, in our day-to-day life. Misuse the paper. What happens? We have to cut more number of trees. So what we can do? We can conserve biodiversity by taking up some project. So what we have to do is we can send the paper which we have used, we can recycle it. That means we can use it and we can bundle them and we can send it to the factory where it can get recycled, and so that we can get the paper again. So what happens with this? If we continue like this, then the number of plants for making wood can be reduced. So we need not cut many plants. So we have to think over such steps and we have to try it. Right, children? Children, now I hope I am clear with the topic biodiversity. Just we will try to recall what have we learned here. The variety and variability seen in plants and animals is called as biodiversity. The plants or animal species of a particular area or region is called as endemic species. Then what about extinct species? Species of plants and animals that have vanished from earth is nothing but extinct species. Plants and animal species that are on the verge of becoming extinct are called as endangered species. Then what we also studied about the migration, right, children? Yeah, movement of birds for nestling from one region to another is called as migration. So paper should be used carefully first of all, and then using more causes. If we are using more paper, what it causes? It causes to more deforestation, which is not good for animals as well as human beings too. So we'll try to evaluate what have we learned in this lesson. So you have to collect and you have to make a list of extinct, endangered and endemic species of our country. Suggest few ways to protect flora and fauna. You know what is flora and fauna? Yes, plants and animals. So you try to suggest few methods. What is the scientific reason behind birds' migration? What is the need to conserve biodiversity? So children, with this we have come to an end of this topic, biodiversity and its conservation. I hope you have learned new terms in this chapter, and as it is a vast chapter, we need to learn more about this, which you will be learning when you go to the higher classes. So I will meet you again with a new topic in the next class. Thank you.